Welcome to today's collective energy reading and predictive reading. I'll be using the Forecaster Oracle today to take a look at what's going on in the collective with the planets, also with the collective energy, how that may be affecting the world stage with predictions coming up for the week ahead. And then we'll take a look at how the energy may be affecting you on a personal level. So I'll be using the Forecaster for all three sections today, and I'll be using one camera. So I'll be putting it on view down so you can look at the cards while I'm reading. Now, my second camera was doing weird things this morning. When I touched it, it would turn on. When I took my hand away from it, it would turn off. So I kept trying that over and over again. I only had touched gently with my hand on it and it worked. So something strange is going on with the energy today. I've also woken up this morning and was given images of lightning. So it wasn't a lightning bolt, it was a blanket of all lightning. So I don't know if it's looking at the collective energy, electromagnetic energy, or whether it's something to do with lightning or energy, or something to do with energy, I'm guessing. So with that, waking up to that vision. So let's get into today's reading. It's going to be So I have got the cards laid for what's going on in the collective energy. And as usual, the cards always like to remind me to take a look at the astrology and what's playing out in the cosmos above us and how that affects us on a personal level. There's a couple of placements that I want to talk about today in the astrology, which relates to the cards on the table. So I will go through them briefly, but then we'll take a look at what this collective energy could mean for the week ahead. Now, the first one I want to talk about is Chiron in Aries will be squaring Jupiter in Cancer. 22 degrees for Chiron and 21 degrees for Jupiter. So this, I feel, relates to the system collapse card, which is the number one card on the table. Something is unsustainable and collective healing is required. So this Tower card, you can see it's the Tower card, it's feeling like the energy is getting to a point where it's unsustainable and collective healing is going to be required here. So the square energy, a square aspect, creates some kind of tension or conflict, maybe even pressure felt between. That's Jupiter being the planet of expansion, where the energy is growing and heightening. Now, while Jupiter normally is a benefic, it does amplify any energy, negative or positive. So whatever's going on in the collective with this astrology placement, it's going to be collectively heightened, amplified, or grown. So it's going to be heightened energy. Now, what it is squaring against is Chiron. Chiron's the wounded healer. So it's saying that it's unsustainable to carry the wounds that we're carrying collectively. So healing will need to take place here. Chiron in Aries exposes wounds around identity. It could be sovereignty and self-assertion. So individual energy, how we feel, all of us collectively feel individually, affects the collective energy as a whole. And this is what this entire readings are about. So then we have Jupiter in Cancer is amplifying themes of wanting to feel like you belong, wanting to feel safe, wanting to feel some kind of emotional security, because it's a water sign. So this is amplifying that energy of just wanting to feel safe in your own country, safe in your own town, safe in your own energy, in the collective energy. So that energy is being amplified over this current week. Now, it mirrors the placement of the system collapse, because the way things have been going, it's unsustainable for the collective energy. So the square reveals a personal and collective identities are built on emotional survival patterns that cannot continue that way in the collective energy. It's almost like something's got to give, something's got to break if it keeps going on that way. Now, we do have vital wellness. Vital wellness is all about your healthcare, your healing, and that is really relevant to the whole Chiron Jupiter aspect here, the square aspect between them. So the tension pushes a breakthrough in how we nurture ourselves, how we nurture each other, and what kind of energy we put into the collective energy based on individual healing. So because it's Aries energy, Chiron in Aries, it requires each of us to do the work to heal our own energy, to heal our wounds, our traumas, our way we look at what's going on in the collective energy, how we're feeling, because it's Cancer also. We've got Jupiter in Cancer. So it's all about feelings with the water signs. So it's asking us on an individual level to pay attention to how we're feeling, to pay attention to any heightened energy as far as anxiety or feeling like you don't want to be in the collective energy. Now, this all affects the collective energy. You've got to find a way to heal that within yourself. The other placement I want to take a look at is there is a Sun, Mars, and a Venus conjunction, all taking place in Capricorn. Mars is at 12 degrees, the Sun at 10 degrees, and Venus is at 9 degrees. I'm looking at this chart based on, and I'll give you a quick little scan of the chart that I'm looking at. I don't have my solar fire installed on this computer, so I just run it from my other computer and just print it out. But I'm looking at from the 1st of January. So it gives a general kind of energy for the upcoming week. Now there's that conjunction, that's the feminine and masculine properties of Venus and Mars coming together in a conjunction, being further highlighted, and with the Sun energy brings vigor and exuberance and just heightened energy there. It brings life force energy, the Sun. So life force energy to that balance between that positive and negative, or that masculine feminine kind of energy. So Capricorn is really about structures, power structures, ambitions. It can be government structures as well, long-term systems. Now this is a powerful energy of these triple planets coming together conjunctively. So it's causing a surge of energy. I feel it's positive energy. So the Sun is about your identity, but it's also about your vitality as well. The Mars brings impulsive energy, but it brings energy of masculinity and drive, motivation, push. Venus talks about balance and harmony, love, values. Now this is all fusing together in a big jumbled energy power surge. Now I feel that this here is the card that it's related to, the power flow energy. This is coming from that energy of the conjunction between Venus, Mars, and the Sun. Powerful energy coming out the way this week in the collective. Now, when these three planets merge, they create some kind of need to recalibrate how we build, we can commit to each other, how we collaborate with each other, and how we individually, because Mars is a kind of a very individual planet, where Venus is a very us energy, harmony energy. Those two coming together is saying what we do individually affects us all collectively together. It affects the balance. So once again, highlighting that need that we have, that responsibility that we have on an individual level to affect the collective energy for everybody. So if you can contribute to balancing and harmonizing the collective this week, it's asking you to do that, because the way things are going, we're heading for a tower moment. The system is not able to sustain the energy that's going on there. So then the other one that I wanted to talk about with the planets today, what's transiting in the sky above and how that affects us collectively. We've got Mercury in Sagittarius. We'll be squaring Neptune in Pisces, and I have been talking a little bit about Neptune lately, but this card is talking about innovative solutions, collective sensitivities. So we've got the collective energy of Neptune squaring the energy of Mercury, which is a communicator, the energy of questioning things. Social media, it talks about what's playing out on our media, on our screens, on our communication devices, what we're seeing with Mercury and Sagittarius. Sagittarius is also a planet of expansion. It's ruled by Jupiter, but Sagittarius also talks about the grey area. So like it's black or white, it's our ethics, our morals, religious pursuits, wanting to expand our knowledge or information collectively. Now, the multi-source perspective, the innovation solution, and the collective field sensitivity, I feel all play into this Mercury Sagittarius in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. So the Neptune in Pisces is about intuition. It can be about disillusionment also if it's played in a negative way. It can play out about expanded views around worldviews when it comes to balance and harmony, or when it comes to collectively living together. So there's this energy of Neptune and disillusionment, but it also, on a positive, it talks about collective emotions. It talks about our spiritual pursuits collectively and the opportunities for progress on our spiritual. So I'm going to leave that there just on a positive, because collectively Neptune opens a psychic field, making everyone sensitive to the collective emotional weather. And that is all what's going on here in the cards. So let's take a look at what the cards are saying about the collective energy given the cards on the table. So we've got, starting with the first one, a system collapse, unsustainable, showing that the way the energy has been going in the collective is not sustainable. We're heading for a tower moment. We individually have to do something about it to try and fix the energy. Now I'm hearing fix only what is broken, not what is not broken. Sometimes the collective field has reached its sustainability, its point of breaking, its breaking point. Now I feel like we could be hitting that kind of energy. Also because we've had a lot going on in the cosmos with the solar flares, Earth-facing geomagnetic storms that's been hitting us. So collectively, it's like we've been on a bit of a roller coaster. Now this could be felt individually by brain fog, mental fatigue, tiredness, headaches, ringing in the ears. For some of you, it could be felt as power flow or energy, heightened energy. Again, we're looking at that coming up into the week, next 7 days. We're looking at many multi-source perspectives, many viewpoints, means that everybody feels this power surge differently, whether it's coming from the solar flares, whether it's coming from what's taking place in the collective energy, or whether it's coming from what's going on with the planets. Either way, everybody feels it in a different way. That feels the power flow that's coming into the collective energy. So this is it's showing that, this one here is showing that old power systems can't hold that current anymore. We need an upgrade before things fail. So I wonder if there is an upgrade coming to the collective energy. Multi-source points, multi-perspectives. That's coming in from everybody on an individual and what each person is contributing to the collective energy. But the focus needs to be on healing, because we've got vital wellness or healing on the table, trying to find an innovative solution or a way to progress forward, move forward in this energy in a positive way. Now, this could talk about AI as well, because it's all about, you see the robots there. So we could be talking about innovation, but we are talking about trying to progress or find a solution to heal what's going on with the collective energy. But it's saying that, like the Aries energy and the Mars, it's saying that we need to do this on an individual level that affects the collective energy before we hit that system breakdown that could be heading our way. So each person is responsible for what they're putting into the collective energy individually. So now the power flow, okay, as this collapsing energy is unfolding here, it's sitting next to the power flow of the collective energy, how we each individually feel what's coming with the collective energy. So please do let me know in the comments how you are experiencing this power flow energy, what it's doing to your physical body, and what you're doing to try and contribute more harmony within the collective energy. Please do let me know. But this does affect us on a physical, it affects us collectively, it affects us on a world stage, and then we feel this energy on a personal level. So I'm going to be looking into those next. The next card that we have is multi-source perspective. It's not a single viewpoint, it's all about the community, the collective energy, each contributing on an individual level. Innovative solutions talks about needing to change old paradigms, finding ways to innovative ways, it's modern ways, technology ways to, now maybe it's related to technology. This is definitely something I feel when I woke up this morning, when I had the vision of the electricity blanket energy across everything. It was like, you see this little bit of electricity here, it wasn't like a zap electricity, it was like this kind of energy across a whole field. That's what the vision I woke up to this morning, and it made me feel like I was smothered by electromagnetic energy, especially from individual or from devices. And what I felt was that if you're in a busy city or if you're around a lot of people with devices, the energy for some reason feels overwhelmingly smoggy, or it feels like smothering energy coming from electromagnetic energy. So if you can find a way to detox from that, shut down from that, not move away from or get out of busy cities just for some time of detoxing, I feel that, and healthcare, vital wellness, I felt it when I woke up this morning. So knowing that I was coming in to start this reading first, this energy of electromagnetic energy coming from radiation, coming from our devices, coming from modern technology, it's affecting the collective energy. So let's move on now to the world stage and what is happening. Welcome to the predictive reading for what's happening on the world stage over the next 7 days. So we have the first card on the table, which is urgent response, state of emergency. I did hear on the media this morning that New York has been declared a state of emergency due to the snowstorms. This card is indicating some kind of upheaval or turbulence related to weather patterns, but also air turbulence as well. Now, be aware that do be aware that what we're hearing on the media around a state of emergency or responses could be part of a stage objective or stage optic as a distraction or a spin, putting people into a state of living in fear or terror response. So once again, keep in mind where your intention goes, where your attention goes. Is it in a state of fear? Are you paying attention to fear-based energy? So this is saying that you need to be very careful what you're watching on media and whether it's heightening a state of fear. Now, I know it's sitting here in the cards saying a state of emergency, upheaval, chaos, living in fear. The cards on the table, those 3 cards, the rest are okay. But this one here is just saying something's a staged optics to put people into a further state of fear. They're going to happen. They happen, but you just need to limit the amount of fear that you're putting back into the collective energy. So we could be experiencing more states of emergency because of weather patterns. And I do believe we had that we had the state of emergency in last week's collective energy as well. Affected, and we did have affected by weather sources as well, was on that one of those stages. I'm not sure which part of the reading it was, but those 2 cards did come out last week. Now we could be seeing some kind of ending or closure around digital identity or around identity or data syncing. Let me come back to that one. So we've got upheaval, air turbulence, could be energy around, I do see lightning in the back there, given that I had the vision of the lightning this morning, but I am seeing some kind of upheaval or chaos weather related in the air. Other things we might be seeing in the media or playing out collectively is a morality imbalance, a value distortion. So where it feels like certain things need attention, but instead everybody else puts their attention in something else. So there's an imbalance of where our attention goes. We should be focusing on things that are more important, things that are necessary, things that are taking place that require our attention, but instead we are distracted and put our energy into terror responses here. I hope it's not another terror response. We are heading up to, this week will take us through New Year's Eve. And I'm feeling now, as I talk about New Year's Eve and endings closure, we're closing out the year. Maybe some people are in a state of fear-based energy, whether they go out and celebrate the new year, beginning of the new year, end of this year, because there's a bit of terror energy in the collective. Okay, so maybe there's something, as I'm touching this card here, I'm feeling something about social media releasing the identity of a person or group around terror response or terror action. But it's showing some kind of distortion or imbalance. Not making sense too is what I'm picking up. So the energy that I'm getting here is a bit of turbulence around weather, turbulence around air, coming from the air, upheaval and chaos. Also a staged optic, getting us to focus on more terror energy. But I do feel as the year comes to an end, I feel there's a heightened terror alert. I'm hoping it's not an actual event sitting right in the middle there. I wonder if that is the UK, just with the image in the background. That is in the background also a gathering of people, a gathering of people as we close out the year. You can see that in the background, it's like a gathering of people. A value distortion could be somebody that's got their values completely distorted. An identity. Maybe, hopefully, they are doing their job on a cyber protection, and they're paying attention to what's going on with any upcoming plans. So hopefully they're onto it with this card that's sitting here. Maybe they are doing a little bit more of that monitoring digitally, like social media and chat rooms or some kind of dark web or something. So they're monitoring data as a form of protection as we go into the end of the year. The year closes out, and we're looking at some energy of people that have their values completely distorted. So they're not positive cards. They could be showing people fear. It could be showing the fear-based energy in the collective of people worried about going out. The digital identity, I'm feeling hopeful with this card that they may be doing their job, keeping an eye out for these people that have value distortion. Could be possible terror response or terror energy. And they're monitoring it. So hopefully I'm going to read that in the most positive way there. I don't want to put fear into people. But the cards aren't overly positive here. So I'm going to say that their identities are being identified, or individuals being identified who could possibly be a problem. So they're monitored and they're keeping an eye on those people. I don't want to take it on the negative, but you can see there that there is fear-based energy around terror response closing out the year, around people that have their values completely distorted, their morals distorted. maybe even feelings of imbalance when it comes to justice or systems, communities, people feel that there's imbalance in certain countries, feel like there's imbalance on favouring one person over another. So there's morality imbalance. So maybe they're feeling a sense of imbalance or injustice. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. There's not too much positive I can focus on except for a distraction or a spin stage optics there. So it's saying that just be wary where you put your energy when it comes to what we're seeing. But hopefully, I'm hoping that this is just them doing their job and identifying any potential threats that could be coming up as we celebrate. You see, you're here celebrating the new year coming in. So let's take a look at the energy on a personal level. Interesting, we've got differences divide, two people standing back to back, having different outlooks on life. So it's about division. Now, this is a personal reading. How the collective energy can make you feel on a personal level. Some of you that are very sensitive to collective energy will feel like there's tension heating up within the collective. Maybe like a rising tide or an inundation. May feel inundated by collective fear energy or collective energy within the community, within the collective field. If for some of you, it may even get so intense with these two energies here that it can be felt easily. Now, it can be felt in different ways. Some people feel it as feeling drained. Some people feel it as anxiety. It's a pending feeling of something going to happen kind of energy. But the energy in the collective will be heating up over the next week. Now, how do you respond to that on a personal level? You've got to think about what your plans are moving forward individually. So put your differences aside when it comes to the community, other people, and really focus on a positive, clear path ahead. Now, fertility, reproduction talks about new adventures. It can talk about babies coming into your family. Somebody might be falling pregnant. Somebody might be revealing news about pregnancy or thinking about fertility in 2026. Now, fertility or new baby can also talk about a new project or a new inspiration as well, thinking about your next phase moving forward. So putting differences aside and moving forward with more positivity into a new project or a new venture. So the path becoming clear ahead. Now, these two cards sitting back to back could be showing somebody in your personal life where you feel you're very different. It could also be something that you're doing feels very different, like you're very divided from what feels heart aligned to you. Now, maybe something you've been doing for a long time feels to be kind of different now. The energy just feels different, and you can't reconcile your energy being in that for another year. So maybe you're considering what your options are moving forward, trying to get a clear path of clarity for a direction or your succession next phase moving forward. Now, it's showing that you're maybe not so aligned to whatever it is that you were doing. So maybe it's a job that you did, the house you lived in, friends you had, partners, whatever this is, you feel that something in your life doesn't feel aligned to you anymore, and you cannot get back onto that path. You can see how the path is facing different directions. You're wanting to go in a different direction. You're trying to find clarity for that new project or new direction moving forward. But you do have a next phase succession plan moving forward. Maybe the energies of whatever you've been in is just getting too intense. The desire to move forward, the desire to want to change something is just getting too strong, inundated by emotional overwhelm, because that's what water is, emotional overwhelm. So, and also tension heating up. So whatever the situation is that's causing you to want to change paths, it's feeling like a tension heating up. This is a collective reading, so you'll feel that energy differently. But what the cards are saying overall is that over emotional energy rising, heating, tension, things heating up around you energetically wise. Maybe you're looking at a different direction in a certain area of your life. It'll be different for everybody what it is. You're trying to find clarity on what you're moving forward, what your next phase is, your succession plan. The fertility card brings a burst of energy or motivation around something brand new because it's a baby. So it's something brand new. If it's not an actual physical baby for you, or talking about DNA or reproduction, then for you it's about new adventures, something completely new path coming your way. And that's what you're needing to focus on and set your intentions for. Thank you so much for watching today's collective reading. I hope that that's resonated with you. Don't forget to hit that heart button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I do hope you have a beautiful week moving forward.